Hey everyone, welcome. I'm so glad we're diving into this together. Today, we're exploring the 5 root states: stillness, presence, expansiveness, embodiment, and flow. These aren't just abstract concepts, they're felt states, accessible through breath, attention, and practice. They anchor us, creating space for meaningful change. Real shifts happen in our bodies, in our breath. The 5 root states are gateways to healing and insight. Cultivate courage to activate these states for wholehearted change. So let's start with stillness. And I want to be honest here, stillness can be a tough one for many of us, myself included. We live in a culture that often screams at us to keep moving, keep producing, keep striving. The idea of just being still can feel counterintuitive, almost rebellious, can't it? But what I've come to understand, and what the research strongly supports, is that stillness isn't about emptiness or doing nothing. It's the absolute root of all regulation. It's that profound quiet that exists underneath all the noise, both the external chaos and, importantly, the internal chatter that can run our lives if we let it. Think of stillness as hitting the reset button for your nervous system. When we intentionally guide ourselves, or someone we're working with, into a state of stillness, we're creating this precious, sacred space. It's in this space that the brain can finally catch its breath, so to speak. It gets a chance to process, to integrate experiences, to sort through the backlog of information and emotion that's been piling up. It's like letting the snow globe settle so you can finally see the scene inside clearly. Without that settling, we're just constantly reacting to the swirl. The courage in stillness lies in being willing to meet what's there when the noise stops. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, sometimes it's surprisingly peaceful, but it's always informative. Techniques to invite stillness don't have to be complicated. All right, let's talk about presence. If stillness is the quiet foundation, then presence is about being fully awake and engaged in that foundation. It's this direct, alert, aware state of being. And I want to emphasize that presence is not passive. It's not just about zoning out or being vaguely in the moment. No, it's the deeply felt sense of I am here, now, fully here. It's an active engagement with the present reality, with all its textures, all its truths, even the uncomfortable ones. It takes courage to be truly present, especially when the present moment feels hard. So often we're living in the past, replaying old hurts or regrets, or we're catapulted into the future, consumed by anxieties and what-ifs. Presence calls us back home to the only place where life is actually happening, right here, right now. And this is critical because, as the research and countless healing journeys show us, presence is a key that unlocks the door for trauma resolution and for genuine truth-telling. You can't heal what you're not willing to be present with. You can't speak your truth if you're not grounded in the reality of your current experience. Think about those moments when you felt truly seen and heard by someone. What was it about their demeanor? Chances are they were fully present with you. They weren't checking their phone, their mind wasn't drifting. Now we move into expansiveness. Expansiveness feels like taking a deep breath after being constricted. It's when our perceived limitations dissolve. We realize, I can go beyond this. There's more. I am more. It's a feeling of possibility opening up. Expansiveness is vital for identity and healing. It counters the feeling of being trapped. It's about daring to imagine a different way of being. Visualization taps into our imagination. It's not just wishful thinking. It paves the way for change. Let's talk about embodiment. This is about fully returning to and inhabiting our physical selves. We tend to live from the neck up, analyzing, worrying, planning. Embodiment is the gateway to reclaiming our power, accessing intuition, and establishing boundaries. It's about wholehearted living, including our physical experience. This state is crucial for dealing with dissociation and anxiety. Embodiment offers a path back to feeling grounded and alive. It's about saying, this body is my home, and I am present in it. And finally, we arrive at flow. This is that magical state we all crave, isn't it? Flow is where being and doing merge. It's that experience of effortless integration where you're completely absorbed in an activity, time seems to disappear, and you're performing at your best, often without even consciously trying. It's not about pushing or forcing, it's about allowing, about being carried by a current of engaged energy. This state is absolutely ideal for enhancing performance, unlocking creativity, and supporting deep, sustainable recovery. What's really fascinating about flow, and what I want to emphasize, is that it often emerges when the other four states, stillness, presence, expansiveness, and embodiment, are reasonably aligned and accessible. Think about it. You need a certain amount of stillness or regulation to focus. You need to be present to engage fully with the task at hand. A sense of expansiveness allows you to move beyond self-imposed limitations and try new things. And embodiment keeps you grounded and connected to your resources as you engage. Flow is, in many ways, the beautiful symphony that happens when these other instruments are playing in harmony. This state isn't just for athletes or artists, though we often associate it with them. We can find flow in writing, in gardening, in coding, in deep conversation. Even in problem solving, it's that feeling of being in the zone. And when we're in flow, there's often a sense of intrinsic reward. The activity itself becomes the motivation. This is incredibly powerful for learning, for skill development, and for fostering a sense of competence and joy in what we do. As we wrap up our exploration of the 5 root states, stillness, presence, expansiveness, embodiment, and flow, remember, we don't force these states. We create the conditions and gently open ourselves to their emergence. Each moment may call for a different state or combination. The art is recognizing what's needed and activating it safely. These states can be trained and mapped to our nervous system. Integrated into techniques like NLP or hypnosis, they supercharge transformation. In future videos, we'll explore how to activate each state. For now, take a breath and notice your state. Before any technique works, the state must open. These 5 root states are the terrain of transformation.